Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Gourmet Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into the PTA postgame show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Emilio in Tennessee here to talk about this Packers dub. They're currently leading 20-7 as we're kneeling on the ball after Aaron Mosby recovers a fumble. So it looks like the Packers are going to get out of here with their final preseason game and a win 20-7 over the Seattle Seahawks. Man, this was a fun one to watch. This honestly did not feel like a preseason game. You've seen a lot of the Packers starters out there. Obviously, the Seahawks did not play Sam Darnold, but they did let Jalen Milroe play the entire game. He had some ups and downs, mostly downs, I feel like. But feels like this team really showed up to play in the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, we got a lot to talk about. We had a little Matthew Golden sighting early. We'll get into that, which was a lot of fun. As he showed up big time, Emilio. Listen, he played, very few snaps, but another contested catch, great concentration on that grab. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, what's your overall takeaway from the ball game here as the Packers get a victory?
Yeah, I think you were spot on with that. It didn't really feel like a preseason game. Crowd was in it, man. They were loud. You could hear it on the TV. Everybody was excited to be there. Offense started kind of humming there for a second. 96-yard drive. You love to see that. Malik Willis took him all the way down. Golden making a good grab, and just I'm happy how it all kind of came together. Dobbs with some strong hands on that touchdown catch. I mean, he just palmed it one-handed, just using it to push himself up out of there. Yeah, man, that was nice. That was a nice little drive there. And then, just kind of the rest of the game sort of fell into place after that. Defense was all over the ball, making, forcing turnovers, and, just real good effort all around.
Yeah, and, it started off a little bit rocky. I know I see everybody filing in. Appreciate y'all making us part of your evening here. Listen, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome into PTA. This is our post-game show. We do these every single week that the Packers have a game, obviously. We do pre-game shows as well. So if you're looking for that type of content, as well as, just live Packers daily content, make sure you click that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you're notified every time we go live. And all the regulars, you know what to do. Hit that like button for us, and feel free to share with a friend. It started off a little rocky for Malik Willis, had back-to-back inaccurate throws, threw an interception. Let's be honest, the ball hit the freaking ground. I don't know.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I don't understand why we have challenges and booth reviews if they're still going to get it wrong, because, I mean, this isn't just me being a homer. Like, you can either see the ball hit the ground or you can't. And we've seen the ball hit the ground, right?
I honestly think they were just like, screw it. Like, they had a nice return. Like, the Seahawks needed something to get them going. It's preseason. Let's just let them have it. But, yeah, that was brutal that was you saw the ball roll as it hit the ground. Then it was right after they were just talking. I think it was Josh Jacobs was talking a little smack to, was it Okuda, what the dude's name was? And then goes and gets a pick that hits the ground.
Yeah, as Joseph says in the chat, that was not an INT. Completely agree, man. But then, fortunately for us, Rashawn Gary, run stop right there off the bat. Javon Bullard had a great contain on Milroe, who was trying to scramble, did a really good job in the contain there out of the slot. Then you get to Quay Walker sack. Matter of fact, I think I've got that. I should have had this stuff ready. I apologize. I got so excited.
And Bull on that when he came up to play the slot, man. I just like that they gave him a shot, as corner. But again, they're still flipping him back and forth. They think that he's that person that has that flexibility to go play safety and then come down and play in the box. And then when that happens, and with the injury to Zane, you get Oladapo out there. And I really do like his game. I'm glad that he's getting some burn now that, sucks if Zane's out, but getting a chance to see out there and kind of tearing it up for the defense.
Yeah, let's try to go in order here if we can. I don't know why this thing is just spinning, but let's see if we can get that to load up, because we had the Next Gen Stats GPS tracker for that Matthew Golden catch. Just wanted to kind of see what the play call was. So you see we got a nasty split here for the most part across the board. You got Romeo's. This is our 12 personnel, right? So we're in ace dubs. So it's 12 ace,
yep,
right? 12 ace dubs. And We've got a very, very tight set. You'll see Matthew Golden runs a go route. You've got Romeo Dobbs is kind of running. It almost looks like an out and up, but it's a 9-fade. And then you've got Luke Musgrave stretching the seam, and it looked to me like they were trying to run what we call a strike concept. Okay, let me explain what that is here real quick. Strike is when on one side of the field you run a crosser, and on the other side you run a go. So you're running a go, much like a dagger, similar concept, but you've got a go in the 2, a dig in the 1, right? The strike concept is one side of the formation, you've got a go. The other side, you've got a dig or a crosser, okay? So that's very generally known as the strike concept. So with that being said, it looked to me like Tucker Kraft was going to run. Let me get this right here. Yeah, Tucker Kraft was going to run kind of a crosser underneath, but the ball's already thrown, so then he trips off to go towards the ball, obviously, as he's seen it's thrown. But Matthew Golden, just a 9-fade. 28 was respecting the speed, too.
Yeah.
And that's what you're seeing, where it was just like, you know what? One-on-one coverage, let's give our guy a shot. And lo and behold, he brings it down. I wish we could show you the actual play. You guys know why it'll trigger a copyright from the broadcast. But really, really cool play there as Malik Willis taking a shot to Matthew Golden. Let's hit the super chat, and then I want to get your take on Matthew Golden. Is there anything else you want to add to him? But Chris Casual in with the super chat. He says LVN is the next NFL Pro Bowler and WWE star known as, is it the Flaccid Hammer? Is that correct there?
Yeah.
Emilio, a.k.a. Jelly Hammer. I didn't pay much attention to LVN, to be honest with you. Did you see much with him today?
Not really. I was kind of everywhere else, but yeah, I'm hoping that he had a good game. We'll have to go back and watch it again. Obviously, we didn't get eyes on everyone, but I mean, we've been waiting for LVN to start. I was paying attention to some of the ends a little bit later on, but it was just like the fact that, you know, we can have him going from standing up to hand in the dirt, a little bit of 3-4-4-3 look, that versatility. But no, yeah, Covington's been doing wonders down there, but I did not see too much of LVN.
Gotcha. It looked like he may have only had 5 snaps according to Eldegrim, which is a good sign when they're like, that's enough for LV, and that tells you everything they think they've seen in him during.
But camp. On that Matthew Golden one there, Clay, the corner gave him 8-10 yards off the start, and then had leverage, had over the top leverage on him from the beginning, and Matthew Golden just made a great adjustment around the dude's back, brought it in, and yeah, you saw that coach, that Seahawks coach thought he had a pick right there.
Yeah, I wish we could show it, and we'll show it on Chalk Talk this week for sure because it was a hell of a catch. And that's just one of those examples where they're playing off. You're running right into the strength of that coverage, essentially. The 28's got eyes on the quarterback for the most part. He knows, all right, this is a go route. I'm just going to play the ball. And somehow Matthew Golden adjusts, cuts back inside, brings it down, essentially one-handed, has the wherewithal, the body control, which we talked about was all over the college tape, to protect the ball from touching the ground. So really, really cool.
And look at Rome on this one too. I mean, Rome breaks free, man. Before the ball's even thrown, Rome had 2 steps on the guy.
That's a great point, man. If for some reason you see that, honestly, Malik Willis will probably get a -2 on this from Matt LaFleur if their grading system is like the old school grading system, because he's going to see, hey, Malik, you can't just throw that ball up there like that. Like 28's playing off. The play design should go look to the right, come back left, up. Romeo's running butt naked, and you're going to go deep shot left. I'm glad he threw it.
Yeah, no, I'm glad he did too. The only other thing was Telfer there, 67, getting kind of pushed back right into his face. So I'm glad that he was able to get it off, you know, with enough force to get it up there. But yeah, no, it's just crazy how we had both dudes open there.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. So there was the Matthew Golden play. Now I'm going to see if I can get the sack. I wanted to show you guys the sack real quick as well on a GPS tracker from Next Gen Stats, because it was cool, man. You could tell this is what happens when you don't go vanilla, right? In the preseason, we've kind of talked about it. This is the Quay Walker sack. So notice when you look at the front, they've got Quay Walker mugging, right? So he is mugging what we would basically call, I mean, he's basically running a 4-tech here, right? He's lined up directly over the tackle, okay? And then you've got Clay Matthews. Lord have mercy. That's a blast from the past. Rashawn Gary, wide 9 out there, right? Now, notice how you've got 96 and 94 on the same side of the field. So that's obviously Colby Wooden and Carl Brooks. So you've got them kind of shaded over. Essentially, what you would call this
load mug, Clay, is what I run this out of all the time in college football. All the time. You got your two backers, you got Coop, and then you got Quay. Quay's walked up, but Quay's can always drop, right? So you're at least having the O-line have to account for him while overpowering, overloading that one side with 3 defensive linemen against 3 O-linemen.
So you got a strong look here. Notice how the defensive tackles are loaded onto the strong side with 49 being your tight end, right? So you've got essentially what you're forcing is a single cut. If you're going single block, just a 5-man protection, which they probably kept some in to help. 79's got to kick out and take LV in, right? 63 has got to block Kobe or Carl Brooks, 94. The center's got to block Kobe Wooden, and that's going to single up our boy Quay Walker with the right guard, and, of course, Rashawn Gary with the right tackle. Here's what happens, though, Emilio. This looks like, okay, you're mugging. It's probably a fire zone blitz. What it really is cover one man. So what they're disguising is if 49 goes out in a route, 27's got him. Okay, so that's Oladapo, right? Am I thinking right? Yeah, so Oladapo's in man coverage. Everybody's man coverage across the board. And what's going to happen here, gang, is 90, 94, 96 are all going to slant inside. So they're going to take all of the protection in with them. They're just going to try to crash the line down, okay? And then our boy Quay Walker is essentially mugging, but what's going to happen is 56 is going to scrape down, and then Quay's actually going to kick out and scrape over. So essentially you've got the 3 down linemen, right? You've got LVN 94, 96. They're all going to crash in. 56 going to scrape off their hip pocket to take the outside rush. And then Quay is going to jab step, loop all the way around. So when Milroe snaps the ball, he sees everybody crash. He's got nothing but green out here, right? Let's scramble left. Watch when we roll the tape. Ball snapped, everybody crashes in. You see 56 come in. So he's going to slant and bang, look who's there. Right? So watch Quay on this little jab. We're hooking around. We're scraping. Bang. Beautiful.
And it being cover one, that would probably put the running back 31 as Quay's man. So when he stayed in, we had a green dog right there. But you look at 77 the whole time. He didn't even touch Quay. He's backpedaling. Quay didn't even engage the dude, just loops around. And when he realized that his back didn't go out on a flare or anything, hey, I'm coming.
Yep. And that's what you call a +1 hat count. Right, you gain +1. 77's expected. 77 didn't do anything wrong either. It's his job to block Quay. That's how the protection's set up. Quay you mug, you take him out of the play, and then you scrape off of that. And a great eye there, Emilio. That is a green dog blitz. If 31 goes out in the pass, that's just cover one man with the 56 fires. Essentially, it, right?
Yep, absolutely. And I just love that. We said it earlier, but Bullard got to come down. Oladapo's out there with Evan Williams without X, right? So you have next in line at safety right there. And then just look how tight the coverage is all the way around until the very end when Key sort of drifts off. But everybody's in their hip pockets. Bull's on 19, Carrington's on 1, and Keyshawn is in the face 83. You got Oladapo come down, pick up the tight end. Then you really leave him with nothing.
Right. So if you were to try to call this the specific play here, you would call it nickel 4-2-5 over will mug, right? You get your will is mugging, your mock is 56 and Edgerrin Cooper, right? So you're going nickel 4-2-5 over will mug, mock scrape, cover one man is what it is. And you could, like I said, if you want to call out the will green dog, you can. Here's the thing about that, though. If 31 motions over to the left, I guarantee you that changes. Now 56 becomes the green dog, and Quay would be the fire, the scrape, probably.
And if you're calling it college football, probably load mug, cover one, scrape, or something along, cover one, linebacker, scrape, something along those lines. But I like how he's kind of, moving the things around, giving them different looks. We always like that wide look. I'm glad he's bringing in the overload look, and we just have speed up front to do it now.
Yeah, exactly. Love it, man. Great play call. And again, this is the difference in the last 2 games we played. You're actually seeing them dial up a little creativity.
Eric Sullivan in the chat. Quay didn't stop to think. He just reacted and went out, and it went outstanding.
Are we turning the corner, Emilio, with Quay?
I've been saying people have been cutting on him a little too much. Kind of.
I think
let the man grow a little bit.
I think he been listening just a touch. So there you go. Going back to the notes here, and we'll keep an eye. Let me know if we get any super chats, man. I don't want to miss any. So obviously you had the Matthew Golden 39-yard contested catch. We talked about the Quay Walker sack. We have Willis to Malik Heath on a 3rd and 6 for a first down. I thought Malik Heath, both in the passing game, or receiving, I should say, and in special teams, really helped himself today, Emilio. How do you feel about that? Again, if it comes back to the original question, Malik Heath or McCole Hardman, who you keeping? Has anything changed?
It's got to be Heath, man. I think I was kind of there earlier, and seeing him today, I even said it, if they ask him to go be a gunner or a flyer, man, there he is. And he was down there twice. Cleaned up a tackle once, got down there first one time, didn't make the tackle, got back to it, and still ended up making the tackle, 5 yards after. And you saw him coming off the field, too. He's just pinching it, just missed the guy. Like, I almost had him on that first drop. Yeah, man, and just credit to Daniel Whelan. I forgot who said it. Somebody in the chat was saying that, all right, it was Eric Sullivan, of course it was. Whelan should have to register his leg as a deadly weapon because that man – he has got every bag, every tool in the bag with his leg.
I wish I could show this play here at Kalen King. Well, first of all, Malik Willis throws a touchdown pass, nice little slant, good pitch and catch to Romeo Dobbs. Romeo looked good. I mean, we showed on the GPS tracking, he was running butt naked up the sideline, right?
Yeah.
And then he
strong hands on that slant, really strong hands. Yeah. He almost had that fade route and needs to get a little bit more height on it from Malik, but no worries.
Yeah. So, to me, Kalen King had an excellent day. I don't know how you guys feel. Let us know in the chat what you think about Kalen King's day. But so he had a short pass stop. So they threw underneath, done a great job being aggressive, getting under, stopping that from getting any yards. It might have gotten 1 yard maybe. Brenton Cox Jr. had a sack along with Enigbare. Great play there. Of course, McManus, 48-yard field goal. This is the play that got me excited, though. Kalen King fumble recovery, guys. I put a tweet out, and I wish I could show it, but I can't. I just said Kalen King's a damn dog, one of the smallest guys on the field. Didn't think twice about diving underneath a 1,500-pound pile of guys to recover the fumble. And that ball gets knocked out by the way, Tyron Hopper. Expecting him to have another excellent PFF grade. I would be very, very surprised if it's not a 70 or higher. But that ball pops out. Kalen King doesn't think twice. He goes submarining underneath the pile to get the fumble recovery. Guys, that's what we've been missing at the cornerback position. So think about this. We're being more physical now, right? You go out, you get Nate Hobbs, who obviously is going to be a very physical corner. You got Kalen King as your backup slot corner. Really excited about that, man. I don't know how you felt about Kalen King's day, but I really, really do think he had a great day. Anything you got to add to Kalen King before we
Kalen King had an amazing day, let alone that play, but the other one where he kind of knifed through underneath MVS, around the tight end, around the tackle, dove and kind of clipped Milrow. The dude's not afraid to stick his neck in there and really, come down and play some football. And I love to see that, especially out of a rookie a first year, but really getting his first kind of reps out there on the field. And I'm just glad that he's doing it. I'm glad that he's not scared. He's not worried, and he's got that energy, and he's in the backfield a lot for a cornerback.
Oh, no doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. Clint, the armchair quarterback with the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. Team looked good today. Bring on the lines. That's a very, very generous super chat there, Clint. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Clint. Absolutely.
I agree too, man. Bring them on. Get a little bit healthier. Bring on the lines. You know what I mean? I'm excited to take the next couple of weeks to get these guys a little bit healthier for sure. So, thank you so much, Clint. Completely agree. Emilio, can you get me a screenshot ready? We got Matt LaFleur at the podium. I'm going to hit this super chat, and then we'll have that screenshot ready. Badger Trio, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. He says, Lloyd start on PUP. Talented, need to stay healthy. Yeah, I'm hoping he doesn't go like on an extended IR. You know what I mean? That's what I'm a little concerned about. Emilio, do you think there's a chance that Marshawn Lloyd ends up going on IR and misses, say, more than 3 or 4 weeks?
I do. I think, not anything against him. I just think that time-wise and who we need on the roster at the moment, they would kind of rather play, hey, man, if you're still being banged up and having some issues, let's put you on there for 4 weeks. Let's get that squared away. Make sure you're 100%. And in the meantime, we can get a couple of these guys through cut downs that we kind of need to, that we're a little worried about. We'll go ahead and just slide you over. And then because He can come right back after the 4 weeks, right? Can he come back on that 5th week if they designate him that week of?
The way it works for me is you've got to go on IR for at least 4 weeks, and then you got to decide whenever I think it's by the 5th week, they have to come off IR and you open up a practice window, I believe, or maybe they're still on IR, but you've got to open up that practice window. There's so many weeks that you've got now that they have to practice and see if you can bring them back. So that's essentially how it works.
So so you would be out. You'd be out. I mean, you'd be out through the bye week from them,
Which that doesn't bother me because damn, Emmanuel Wilson looks so good, dude. He is such a solid running back. We'll get to him here in a minute, but thank you for that super chat trio. We appreciate you, buddy. All right, give me that screen grab ready, Emilio. Let's see what Coach LaFleur has to say here at the podium. Here we go. And again, I've got it all the way up, guys. Hopefully you can hear it. If not, I'll try to adjust it for the podcast, but just turn the volume up here.
Challenge, but I was proud of those guys, just suiting up and going to play ball.
What'd you think of Willis? He did a lot more with his legs than he's been doing in practice.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I think practice is always a tough thing to judge, when it's not live and you're not going to the ground. And certainly that's one of his superpowers is his ability to get out of the pocket and create off schedule or scramble and create big plays. And he was able to extend that second drive a few times with picking up first downs with his legs.
Glad to see the emphasis on forced fumbles from this whole camp.
Yeah, that was exciting because it finally happened. So, there was a couple other opportunities I didn't think we took advantage of, but that is always at the forefront of our guys' mind, and it's drilled into their head, I would say, every day, and we drill it every day out on the practice field. So, for those guys to make it come to fruition is exciting to see.
Going back to Malik, when you look at what he did for you last year in the season and then what he did in the offseason in training camp, how good do you feel, even if you don't want to see him again now until the end of the year?
Yeah, we got a lot of confidence in Malik. I think he is just scratching the surface of what he can become. Just the dual threat that he is as a quarterback. I think it's problematic for most defenses. And I think he's really come a long way in terms of the fundamentals of the position and just making good decisions.
Did you alternate the other two to get them equal playing time, or was there some other thinking there?
Yeah, I think I just, we gave Sean game 1. He was the first guy in. Taylor was in game 2, and just kind of thought that, number one, it keeps them both in it for the entire game. So I thought that was important. I thought those guys did a good job.
What would you think of Algersman and those improvised plays?
Yeah, those were, I mean, shoot, you got to find a way. And there was 2 of those that he did. So I thought, you got to go back and look at it. But I thought, for the most part, he did a pretty good job.
As far as those decisions coming up, when you look at the totality of a roster, do you prefer to have certain numbers at certain positions, or is it just whoever the best 53 are?
No, I think you always got to take into account the numbers at the positions.
Matt, you said there's decisions to be made. How many of those make themselves, and how much of it is that you guys actually have to sit down and decide now, or were they already kind of already shaking itself?
Yeah, I mean, I've spent a lot of time with Goody, and for the most part, you got a pretty good idea of where it's going. But certainly, there's going to be other teams where guys get released, and there's going to be opportunities there that potentially could impact some of the decisions that you make in terms of who you keep from your roster.
What's your plan?
All right, there you go. There was Coach Matt LaFleur at the podium. We'll go ahead and get back to the chat. I see everybody following in. As Terry Patton says, go, Pat, go. Appreciate you swinging through, Terry. We got a super chat here, and we'll get to some of the other comments. Thank you so much, Godsmack AR69. All right, I've seen enough. Give me Air Canada over the little red puppy, the gamer, for the practice squad, honestly. Sorry, Tim, but what the hell does Clifford have to offer at this point? I'll tell you what I think Clifford has to offer. He knows the system way, way, way better than Taylor Elgersma. Now, put it this way. Let's say that Malik Willis gets hurt in practice, all right? And you've got Taylor Elgersma and you've got Sean Clifford, right? Which one would you want to go into the game if obviously they say that the backup quarterbacks, Emilio, they get I'm talking about less than 10 snaps in practice the week of the game. That's how few it is. It's crazy how little prepared they are. They got to do all their work, obviously, after practice and try to get some extra on in and stuff. But if it were to come down to a game, and let's say you're up by 7 points, Jordan Love turns an ankle, leaves the game, who would you rather have in there to try to manage the game, run the offense, and win the ball game? You guys know I'm keeping Taylor Elgersma or Elgersma. Is that how they were saying it?
They said it both ways. It both ways.
Flush it, man. All right. I would much rather have Elgersma on the practice squad over Sean Clifford. However, if you're asking me right now, hey, man, you got a quarter to go out there and protect a one-score lead, I'm probably picking Sean Clifford over Elgersma. That's based off the tape I've seen because Elgersma will let that thing rip into coverage. Matt LaFleur has talked about it over and over and over. So if we're talking right now, practice squad guy, more upside, hands down, Elgersma has way more upside than Clifford. The problem I'm having is if in a tight game he has to come in and kind of run the offense, I don't know, man. I would feel more comfortable about our boy Sean Clifford knowing all the checks, knowing the entire offense like the back of his hand. And he's also got that mobility too, not that Elgersma doesn't, but to be able to run that zone read a little bit as well. So if I had to choose right now, I agree with you, Godsmack. I'm going Eric Canada. But I understand anyone who's like, in a tight pinch, if for some reason Malik Willis was banged up and you had to activate one of those two quarterbacks as your backup quarterback, I'm probably still leaning towards Sean Clifford just for that game management aspect and just try to get you through a rough patch. Let's be honest. If we're down to one of those two quarterbacks being the starter, though, we're screwed either way, right?
Right. No, yeah, I think you're right. If I'm picking that third guy to dress, it would be Clifford, but for talent-wise, I mean, he does. Elgersma has an arm, dude. To think about it, with Canada football, there's one extra guy, 12 players, and then the field's wider. So for him to throw an out route on a wider field from the opposite hash, you got to have a cannon and good timing to do that, which we saw that he does, and he can play outside. Outside the scheme of the offense, there, like Matt was talking about. Sometimes you just got to get it done, couple shovel passes, and bing, bam, boom. But, to get those off is you're kind of getting yourself into a pickle or something didn't go right on the play to be shoveling it to the back who was just blocking for you. So little bit of both there, but I'm really just kind of happy with the team overall there and how they were sort of playing.
Yeah. And thank you again for the super chat, Godsmack. We appreciate you, buddy. Because
real quick, looking at the PFF grades early, these can still be adjusted. Passing grades, Sean Clifford actually led with a 55.1 passing grade, Elgersma with a 45.8, and Malik with a 41.2.
Wow! So and that's the early PFF grades.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's the early ones.
Got it. So back to the notes here. Emmanuel Wilson, 8-yard run on first down to set up just to stay ahead of schedule.
Okay, is that the one where he put the dude, he put the stops on the dudes? It's either the way he runs with his, it's either kind of how his helmet sits on his body or the way he kind of leans his weight forward. When he put the stops on and that 37, I mean, the corner just locked up his ankles, but I don't know how he stopped and turned up immediately
It looks like he's running in quicksand, Emilio.
It was a video game. It looked like I hit the right trigger right as I stopped. You hit the right trigger and get that speed burst glitch. Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know how he did it.
He never looks like, man, he's flying, but you just see him blowing by people. It's like, it looks so effortless, the way he can cut. And again, I go back to Gary Ellerson, that very first preseason that he was with us, that Emmanuel Wilson was with us, and he bounced that run outside against Cincy. And afterwards in the postgame show, Ellerson was like, that's not normal what that kid just did. Like that, not everybody in the league can do that. And he just continues to do it. It looks so effortless, man. I completely agree. So 8-yard run, backed it up with a 5-yard run. McCole Hardman on the jet sweep for 14 yards. Kind of feel like he helped himself today too, Emilio. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes the roster with Malik Heath. However, I would go Malik Heath over him unless I'm 99.9% confident that Malik Heath can make it to the practice squad. I don't think Hardman will make it to the practice squad. That's the only reason why I would lean toward Hardman over Heath. But Heath did everything. It kind of sounds like Christian Welch last year. He did everything he needed to do to make this roster. He deserved the roster. I believe that.
But also, I mean, Heath was out there. I think he was the first other wide receiver to come in on their offensive snaps. And I remember they kind of stacked him over the tight end, like how we used to do with Christian Watson. Go ahead and dig out that back, or get your head in there on a run. So I think I am still going to lean Heath, though I do appreciate everything Hardman's done this offseason, and reaching out to everybody, setting the tone, being a veteran leader out there.
Yeah, and shout out to our buddy Caden over on X at CADENSUNILA. Everybody go give him a follow. He had great seats today. And this is the Elgersma touchdown pass to Will Shepherd. It looked like they ran a crossers mesh. Some people just call it crossers. Other people call it mid mesh. But they had two crossers, right, going through the back or through the middle of the end zone. And the idea is to get those guys to rub. And whichever one comes free, that's where you throw the football. Just make sure it's not a too high look where you're throwing into a safety either way. But beautiful touchdown pass from Elgersma to Will Shepherd here on the crosser mesh. And we've got the actual video from Caden's seats. Check this out. We'll let the crowd stay up here too.
Try to copyright this, NFL. No, they're going to. No problem.
And listen how quiet it is too. Great job, Packer fans. Don't get too loud when we're down there trying to play. Yeah. Save it for this.
I love it.
What a great shot there, man, too, by Caden, obviously. So good touch there from Elgersma. Read it out right. Sees there's no safety on that side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Good touch. Leads this guy out there, keeps him out of harm's way. And then obviously the Lambeau leap, man. Was Lambeau not beautiful? Every time that sun would pop out today, you get that shadow creeping across.
It was gorgeous. The drone footage where you kind of saw like the whole stadium, but through one entrance. And then even at the end there when they were taking the knees and they were up above looking at the flag flapping around, but overlooking the game. I mean, you can't beat it. Clay, let me ask you this. Ryback here in the chat says, I would keep Shepherd over Hardman.
I tell you, I can't think of one negative mark I've had on Shepherd all camp. However, think of it this way. Much like I was talking about Sean Clifford and making the case for him over Elgersma, as you guys know, again, I would take Elgersma over Clifford, but I can understand the argument the other way. Imagine you got a game on the line, right? And it's fourth quarter, final drive. Romeo's banged up. He's out of the lineup. Whatever. It's, let's say you're in a 12 personnel and you've got, or let's call it 11 personnel. And you've got, Christian Watson might be on the sideline, or maybe he's on the field. Jaden Reed's on the sideline. You got Matthew Golden out there, and you've got Hardman on the field, right? Either Hardman or Shepherd. Hardman has Super Bowl experience, right? And this is what I keep coming back to. And maybe this is a reason why we shouldn't keep him, Emilio. If that one reason is the only reason we would keep him, But we've seen the 14-yard jet sweep, right? That looked great. He's had a great camp, albeit the last couple of weeks he struggled a little bit. We've seen him in the Super Bowl catch the game-winning touchdown catch, right? So put all that together, and now what is Shepherd's? What's his resume? He's a freak, right? He's got crazy height, if I remember correctly. He's one of those guys got a high RAS, and he could be a dog until someone gives him an opportunity. Who knows, right? That's definitely something to take into consideration. But I truly think you could get Shepherd on the practice squad.
Yeah.
So why not keep them both in that array? That makes sense.
No, absolutely. And it's nothing against Shepherd. I think he can handle it. He's been out there in the big lights, but I think you're right. You can kind of sneak him onto the practice squad a little bit easier than somebody that's had, some success in the NFL. So you really need to make the decision is, because we keep falling back to it. Hardman can return kicks, but I feel like, is that the only thing we're leaning on him for? Can't we find somebody else to do that? Can a running back do that? Can somebody else do it? Is that spot going to be enough to hold him there when you have three other multi-tools that you could use in that spot as well?
Yeah. And again, I kind of feel like there's a better chance that Malik Heath makes it on the practice squad than McCole Hardman. And I think there's an even better chance that Will Shepherd makes it on the practice squad as opposed to Hardman. So I'd be cool with them keeping both those guys. But again, you got Cornelius Johnson. You got these other guys that have played pretty darn well as well. So I know this. Will Shepard put something good on tape today, so there may be another team come call him. Just keep in mind he's got to make their 53 if they sign him. So now you got to think of a young guy, undrafted, having to come into a new place, move across the country, learn a new offense. How quickly can you get him up to speed? Because I kind of feel like the Packers are probably struggling a little bit to get him up to speed as quick as they want to as well. Nothing against him. Anybody that comes in on short notice like that, obviously, it's going to take a little time to learn the system. H.E. Soda with the super chat says, feel better about this team than I did coming out of the Jets game. Know this is a low bar, but they did get better over the course of the preseason. Completely agree, Soda. And what we seen today was they opened up the playbook a little bit, right? It's almost like, Emilio, it's almost like Matt LaFleur was like, okay, we're still sputtering a little bit, even though we had a better game last week against the Colts. Let's open a little bit more up and create a little momentum, a little bit of confidence as we go into the season. I do think that's a real thing, don't you?
Yeah, and didn't Matt say that in one of his pressers, or somebody interviewed him and asked, are you worried about, or he said he's not as worried about letting some of the stuff out of his playbook early in the preseason. He was saying something along those lines. I'm not as worried about putting film out there for other teams, or not releasing too much for week one and all that, because sometimes you just got to let them play. They've put in these plays in the preseason and all the work that they've done, but we're only going to stick with run right, run left, and a bubble screen. Like, no, we kind of need to open it up. Obviously, we fall back to Matt's jet sweeps, which not everybody, most people don't love, but it keeps the defense honest. You see, you get everybody flowing one way to the right because the running game's been working so well. Chris Brooks was running downhill, getting some tough yards. Wilson putting dudes on skates and running hard. Then you go ahead, all right, I'm going to turn around real quick, give it to Hardman and go. But again, we also probably have a wide receiver that can run that jet sweep. You could do it with just about anyone else on the roster in the wide receiver room. So that's where I'm just kind of hung up. The more it kind of is closing in, I just don't know if Hardman's going to sneak on there.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Soda. We appreciate the super chat.
Especially Clay. I'm sorry. I think I just thought, thinking about it. Are we going to try to fit Hardman on there when we're also kind of like, dude, do we want Brinson and Stackhouse? Do we want, at some point we got to give up somebody? Because in the end, we're still getting Christian Watson back. We still have a couple of other wide receivers that are, coming back from injuries. You're running out of spots.
It's a great point. Like, if these guys aren't as healthy, like, let's say, and I'm not saying this is going to be the case. Let's just play along here, right? Christian Watson is going to start on IR. We know that. Let's say that Dontavion Wicks starts on the PUP or IR or whatever because of the calf. Let's say Savion Williams, same boat, right? Well, you're down 3 guys that are in the top 5 of your depth chart. Right. So you may want to protect a couple of receivers like we just talked about, right? And have them on the 53. So it's going to be a tough cut down, man. And we got, 3 days to do it in. So obviously we'll be bringing you updates as guys are cut and any information that comes out. Typically we get to this point and all of a sudden injuries pop up, right? And someone goes on IR and that crosses them off, that type of thing. But
do you think it's easier now that we're cutting it from 90 right to 53, or did you like it better when we cut it down to 71 halfway through and then?
I don't think I really have a preference, to be honest with you. I think the more I think about it, I think I like the new way where it's just, let's just get it all the way down, that type of thing. Because it was a little drawn out, in that regard. So that's just kind of a personal preference, I guess. Let's go to the chat here. Get caught up. Holmes MD1 earlier says Brooks looked really good as well. Talking about Chris Brooks, completely agree. He was hovering right around the 4 yards per carry mark. Again, good pass blocker, good at catching the ball out of the backfield. I think there's zero chance that he's not our number 3 running back if Marshawn Lloyd isn't healthy. You agree with that, Emilio? Did he do anything to hurt his chances of being the third best back with Marshawn Lloyd banged up?
Negative, dude. He runs hard. He runs really hard, and he's got strong legs. He can get north and south quickly. He makes a decision and goes. I mean, him and Wilson are close, a little bit different backs, but they both run the same way with physicality and wanting to get north just about as quickly as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Also in the chat here, Jen Wright says Air Canada over the big red dog. I haven't seen anybody in here in the chat that says they would take Clifford over Elgersma. If you see him, let me know, Emilio. But it seems like everybody definitely sees Elgersma as the better quarterback for sure. United Bates says, I haven't been impressed with a Band-Aid kinda.
A Bandicanda.
Oh, okay.
I think he was just trying to hyphenate it for you, Clay, make it nice and easy.
and I still screwed it up.
He gave you that slow pitch right over the plate.
I don't know. I think he's messing with me here. Am I high? I might be
A Band-Aid, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
See, I'm telling you, I think it's Abanaconda.
Yeah.
I was saying Abaniconda because that's what Google said is the proper way of pronouncing that name from that region of the world. But what the hell do they know, right? If Kevin Harlan says it, it might as well be coming from sweet baby Jesus's lips. You know what I'm saying, man? That dude is he not the best preseason announcer, bro? He is so good, man.
Just the voice, man. You cannot beat it. It's like, hey, that's football season.
Absolutely. Eric Sutherland in chat. Once again, it's been a tough several months. I'm forever grateful for PTA and the return of Packers football to ease the mind. God bless you all. Go Pack, go. Eric, buddy, your family here, man. We appreciate you. If there's anything we can ever do for you, you please let us know, man. You've been around since day one, no doubt. So, all right, let's go to the box score. You want to, Emilio? Take a look at it real quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Bates just update said he was just being stupid. No pronunciation correction.
All right, there you go. Well, I'm too stupid to recognize that you were being stupid there. So we're in good company here, Bates, for sure. With the box score, let's start with the quarterbacks. We got a couple more notes I want to hit on the backside here, but let's start with the quarterbacks. Jalen Milroe, obviously, they decided to trade Geno Smith, sign Sam Darnold, and draft Jalen Milroe as a potential future quarterback, right? He went 13-24, 148 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He also had 7 runs for 31 yards. I thought overall they did a good job containing him and did a really good job getting pressure in his lap. 5 sacks that tallied up to 25 yards. On Green Bay's side, Malik Willis, 3 of 6 for 50 yards, a touchdown and interception that should not have been. We know that. Taylor Eldersma was 6 of 8 for 33 yards and a touchdown. All right. He was sacked twice, however. Sean Clifford was also sacked twice, but he was 6 of 9 for 19 yards. So, yeah, if you were to look at those quarterback performances, remove the names, who played the best, I think hands down I would give it to Taylor Eldersma because obviously he was efficient, but also moved the ball down the field, and protected the football. That's what it's all about, man. So anything you got to add to the quarterback play, go back to the notes here.
Yeah, I just pulled up real quick. Milroe's grade on offense with a 32.8 as an early number. So we held his passing to 35.2 and his running to a 46.9 on a dual threat quarterback. Obviously, we knew his passing wasn't the strong suit, so not holding that against him. But I'm just glad about how well we played with a read option type of quarterback. That speed, everybody close to the ball. We were able to get him on the ground in the backfield, get some sacks. That really was huge for this defense. I wanted to see that after they kind of struggled against Fields early. So, all right, can we keep contained? Can we play upfield? Can we still get pressure? But know that you had that speed back there. In our offense, really, they played well. I'm not mad at our quarterbacks. Yeah, Malik didn't throw a pick, and I'm just glad that they both put out pretty decent tape. They were both kind of same way, 2 sacks, trying to get on the move. It's going to be a tough cut down there. I don't know what Matt's going to do back there.